Hi there, and welcome to Markmate. If you're watching this video, it's because you've received your welcome email with your teacher login details. And I'm here to show you how to get logged in and how to set up your first class. Once we've done that, you'll be able to continue through our video tutorials and they will guide you through the entire process to get ready and to start using Markmate in your school. So the first thing we need to do is log into Markmate. Now to do that, we need to go to www.markmate.co.uk and we need to click login, and you can do that in two places, either at the top of the screen here where it says login or teacher login. So if we click on one of those, we'll be brought to the login selection. Now you've just received a teacher account, so we need to click on teacher. After doing that, you'll be brought to the login page and you need to put in the login details that you've just received in your welcome email. More than likely, this will be your school email address and it will be a password that the admin at your school has created for you. So if we type those in or copy and paste them from the email, click login, we'll be ready to get started. Now what we're looking at here is your dashboard. This is where we start using Markmate, and every single day when we log in, this is where we'll be starting. Now the first thing we have to do is set up our classes so that when we're marking pieces of work, everything we do is associated to our students. Now it's important to understand that if you're a secondary teacher, more than likely you'll be setting up individual classes. But if you're a primary teacher where you teach the same group of students, you'll more than likely be setting up individual subjects. So depending on your current teaching situation, it says let's create a new class, but it may well be let's create a new subject, depending on how you teach. I'll show you what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on new class. And here, the first thing we need to do is give our new class a name. So I'm going to click here to create a new class. And I'm going to call mine, I'm a primary teacher, so I teach one group of students. So I want to set up individual subjects. So when I mark some English books, I can put it in that subject. And when I mark some maths books, I can put that work in that subject. So I'm going to create 5JH, my tutor group, and then I'm going to call it English. There we go. Now the next thing we need to do is add my students to this class. So if I click add students here, we get a new window brought up, and this is where we put our students' names in. And we can do that in a couple of ways. Either we can type their names in one by one, going on to a new line. It's going to take a long time. The quickest and easiest way to do this is actually to copy and paste your whole class list into this box. So for example, if I go over to my computer here, I can bring in my class list. So I've got an Excel spreadsheet here with my students on there. You might have a Word document with a list of your students. It doesn't matter. As long as your students are listed in the order that you want them, I can then highlight all of my students. So if I do this, highlight them all, right click, copy, click into here, paste those names in. Now as long as each student is on a new line, then they'll be imported correctly. The last thing to do is just click import, and there we go. We've now got all of our students ready for me to start using in that class. And if I want to make any changes to those students, I can do. Now the last thing to do before we move away from this page is we need to save this class. We've got the name and we've got the students. So if I scroll down to the bottom of my class list, you'll see a big button on the right hand side that says Save Changes. So if I click there, Save Changes, that class now appears in my list of classes and I can open it up at any time and edit that as I need to. Now, before I start using this class, maybe actually I want to add another subject. So I've done 5JH English, now I want to do 5JH Maths. Or if you're a secondary teacher, maybe this was Year 11 English and now I want to add Year 12 English, whatever it is. I could either create a new class and call it 5JH Maths and just repeat the process, or if the class I'm creating has the same students in it, I can literally, on this class, duplicate the class. So there's a duplicate class button. So if I click duplicate class, now look, we've got my 5JH English and a copy of my 5JH English with all the students in there. And now all I'm going to do is change the name. So instead of 5JH English, I've already got that one. I'm going to do 5JH Maths. Scroll down to the bottom, update the changes, and now I have 2 subjects ready for me to teach and to mark. If I click home at the top of the screen now, you'll now see those classes appear on your dashboard. Now that means they're ready to start being used and being marked. The next video will go into a lot more detail about what you can do next. So how do we create pieces of work? How do we give assessments for those pieces of work? And how do we collect that assessment evidence? If you need any support at any point, drop us an email to info@markmate.co.uk. We're more than happy to help. But if you've set up your classes and you're ready to get started with your marking, go to the next video in this series and we'll be talking about creating assessment grades so that you've got specific assessments that you can use for all of your pieces of work that tie in exactly to how your school assessment strategies work. Go to the next video and you'll see exactly what you need to do next. All the best.